Welcome viewers, and in this special edition of interview with CEOs, today we are with one of the eminent technocrats, I should say, and Mr. Tapan Burman, and whose introduction is not required, but and the sir will itself uh, tell us about all his work and all the details regarding his innovative ideas and imagination. And as you know, Inviewsrs.com is a platform to recognize the creative talent and the innovative ideas and the efforts of the people who are changing the society, substantially contributing for the development of the society. Tapan Burman sir, most welcome to Inviewsrs.com. And as a host, I would like to welcome you on this platform. And just for our viewers who are tuning in, I would like to request you to just introduce yourself for them. Sir.
Yeah, thank you, Rajesh. Thank you so much, for inviting me. I mean, it's a great honor, to be here and talking to you, and look forward to this conversation. So, as a background, I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Mihup, and we have started this company along with two of my co-founder Biplab and Sandeepan Chattopadhyay. So in the Mihup, what we are trying to do we are actually building a voice AI platform for next billion of internet users. Okay. And we are actually helping enterprise developers to add voice interface for any device or applications. So that's the space where we are working right now, and we do have multiple applications around this voice interface. I'll talk about more in later of this conversation. Now, prior to Mihup, I was running a company called Nectar, which was IT consulting company, and we are helping large enterprise to sort of help them to transform from legacy to advanced system. So that was the work we were doing through the Nectar. And of course, I'm a computer science graduate, passed out in 2006. I mean, that's about my background with the company. If you look at today, the use of AI is getting used in multiple aspect of I would say applications in multiple ways, right? And so the area where we are working right now, mostly active, is actually to bridge the man-machine communication gap. And so in our case, the way we see we can transform the society with the help of the kind of product which we are building through AI is, first of all, the way the user are using the digital devices right now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
They mostly use those device, for example, mobile phones or maybe tabs and everything. They use it mostly to consume contents. Mostly the internet contents, entertainment contents, and they spend a lot of time in YouTube's and TikTok videos, something like that. Why they do not think these mobile phones as a tool to sort of transact or to access the services which is available from the government or maybe private organizations, because they do have a fear of to accessing those services through the mobile phone, because they can't really type properly in English, because most of the things are available in English. And second is the interface today is also complex. It's not very user friendly.
Yes.
So what we believe with the help of voice as a medium of communication between man to machine, the interface is going to be very, very intuitive and user friendly. So those kind of users will be able to bring them back to the ecosystem where they can think of using mobile phones or those medium to access those digital services. Yes. And secondly, I think there will also will be a change in the mindset. say for example, as of today also in the most of the rural areas, they consider this social media platform as a as a negative effect or impact in the society, right? And
Yes.
so I'm, because of a lot of societal I think restriction and reservations we do have, we are pretty much conservative in that way. So I think that kind of awareness you can also be able to bring to transform that mindset and thought process. Instead of thinking this technology and evil, it will help them to sort of to change their lifestyle and getting much more benefit out of it.
Very truly said, sir. And you are setting a new trend in AI sector and voice recognition and all those things you were talking about. Now, during this COVID, how do you perceive that? What are the challenges Indian IT companies are facing today? And what is your belief, or we can say that your perception regarding the future trends? How IT sector is going to do in future, in upcoming 5 or 10 years?
So, I mean, if you are considering the context of COVID, I think the major change which happened, in especially in the IT industry, is the way we feel you can work, from the office. I mean, now the working from home is now becoming very, very normal, right? And also, I think, I mean, it is yet to be analyzed, or we need much more data to sort of, to see that whether this is becoming productive or not, right? I mean, that has to be analyzed pretty much. So in our case, what really happened, what we have seen, this working from home, certain aspect of the work is productive if you think of from the R&D perspective, but the work which is more required, more operationalized, and lot of whiteboarding, brainstorming, that kind of work really got an impact, right? I mean, this is what really happened. But I think in the coming years, this working from home is going to be very, very normal, and we'll have to find a way to sort of adapt to the system and sort of create a framework where you can be productive and can to track properly what's going on across the company, so that we can go forward. But other than COVID, I think most of the IT companies, one problem what I feel is the kind of skill set, because since we are getting into the era of machine learning, AI and everything, but most of the IT services companies, the senior profiles, I think most of the resources are trained on the technology which is not required or may not be required in the coming days, right? So how do we sort of unskill or unlearn them whatever they have learned throughout that period, and can help them to learn the new technologies or the or the skills which are coming, so that they can cope up with the coming trends and can stay with the current system. So I mean, this might create some new opportunities from youngsters, like new job opportunities for them who are equipped with that kind of skill set. And also we can see some of I mean, some of them can lose their job because they don't have enough energy or the interest to sort of acquire this knowledge. I mean, that's going to happen in the IT services industry also.
It means that continuous updating and skill upgrading is required for the youngsters.
Absolutely. I mean, it has to be happen, because unless you don't do that, you'll not be able to sort of meet the new requirement or
yes,
this coming across your company or to you.
Okay. Moving from industry to your personal interests and your personality today, and your dream of becoming an entrepreneur and doing something in the IT sector. Can you tell us something about your childhood, schooling, college days, and your journey till now as an entrepreneur, in IT sector especially? What is your take, sir?
Sure. So I mean, so I'm from a very lower middle class family. So I come from a very small town, which is near the border of Bangladesh and Assam.
Okay.
I belong to that. And my childhood was I mean, just like any other I would say child. It was very smooth, because our parents were so caring, and they were so caring about our education and other things. So we never felt we belong to a family where there is a sort of crisis in terms of money and everything, right? I mean,
Okay.
I mean, thanks to to our parents, and thanks to God, I mean, for that. And and my parents always wanted to wanted from us to have a right education, not in terms of having great degree or great pedigree, but in terms of sort of how to stay humble and be with the system, so that you can contribute something for the society. That was the education which sort of was given by our parents. And so we sort of learned that we try to be in that area only. From the educational degree point of view of my schooling, I've done my schooling from the same so location. I'm from Kochbiar, so I said,
Okay.
very near to Bangladesh border, Assam border. And my engineering, so I, after my schooling and plus 12, I did my engineering in computer science, from Dugapur. And immediately after that, I sort of joined a public sector company. So it was a typical central government kind of work. I was joined as a product manager, as implementing Oracle and everything. But I was absolutely not happy, because I always wanted to do something. Was not sure what I wanted to do, but was not happy with the job what I was doing
Yeah, the
for the company.
environment.
Yeah. So at that time, me and my childhood friend, I mean Biplab, we started this company, Nectar, and we started our entrepreneurial journey in the year 2008. And we thought we'll do something, but was not very sure what we want out of this company. But we sort of started the journey in that consulting business, and we used to contribute, invest from our salaries and everything. But finally, in 2014, we sort of formed this Mihup entity, and fully plunged into that entrepreneurial thing. I mean, leaving our full-time job and everything.
Moving from industry to your personal interests and your personality today, and your dream of becoming an entrepreneur and doing something in the IT sector. Can you tell us something about your childhood, schooling, college days, and your journey till now as an entrepreneur, in IT sector especially? What is your take, sir?
Sure. So I mean, so I'm from a very lower middle class family. So I come from a very small town, which is near the border of Bangladesh and Assam.
Okay.
I belong to that. And my childhood was I mean, just like any other I would say child. It was very smooth, because our parents were so caring, and they were so caring about our education and other things. So we never felt we belong to a family where there is a sort of crisis in terms of money and everything, right? I mean, I mean, thanks to to our parents, and thanks to God, I mean, for that. And and my parents always wanted to wanted from us to have a right education, not in terms of having great degree or great pedigree, but in terms of sort of how to stay humble and be with the system, so that you can contribute something for the society. That was the education which sort of was given our parents, and so we sort of learned that we try to be in that area only. From the educational degree point of view of my schooling, I've done my schooling from the same um, so location. I'm from Kochbiar, so I just said very near to Bangladesh border, Assam border. And my engineering, so I after my schooling and plus 12, I did my engineering in computer science from Dugapur. And immediately after that, I sort of joined a public sector company. So it was a typical central government kind of work. I was joined as a product manager, implementing Oracle and everything. But I was absolutely not happy because I always wanted to do something. Was not sure what I wanted to do, but was not happy with the job what I was doing.
Yeah, the environment.
Yeah. So at that time, me and my childhood friend, Biplab, we started this company, Nectar, and we started our entrepreneurial journey in the year 2008. And we thought we'll do something, but was not very sure what we want out of this company. But we sort of started the journey in that consulting business, and we used to contribute, invest from our salaries and everything. But finally, in 2014, we sort of formed this Mihup entity and fully plunged into that entrepreneurial thing. Leaving our full-time job and everything. So that's how all get started. And I'd like to also thank couple of I would say moonlighters in my life. Other than the parents. We got a chance to meet a couple of great personalities like Sandipan Chattopadhyay, who was was the CTO for Gestal, then Saran Chatterjee, and also thankfully we also got introduced to Subrata Mitra, from Axel. Subrata, who wrote the first check to Flipkart, to Sachin and Bini, and which became the largest I would say the startup in our country, right? That kind of things happen in our life. But why IT? Because because since we had the background of computer science and Biplab is electronics graduate. We had that background, and we always wanted to solve something with the help of technology, right? And we, so I think we went through multiple iteration ideas from since 2008 to 2014, but finally we sort of find our right alignment with the current thing what we are doing with Mihup. Where we can see we can help a lot of people in large scale, and really can sort of create a great impact. So that's why we're completely obsessed about the idea of what you are doing right now with Mihup in our current journey.
Rightly said, sir, and very innovative and inspiring. So one thing I would like to know from you, that you have a vast experience of life and work both together, and what are your ideas of success and failure? As today we are seeing that most of the youngsters are finding it difficult to cope up with failures, and everybody is in the race to make quick money and success, name and fame, everything. And 10 lakhs graduates, we are getting engineering graduates every year, but half of them are getting employment and half of them are struggling.
So I can still remember when I was pitching for some recent fundraising, and I faced similar kind of questions from the investors also, and he was asking me the same thing. How do you define your success? What do you think about the success? My mantra for the success always was peace of mind. It may sound like a bit spiritual, but that's what I feel. But I know generally success and failures are very very go hand in hand, right? and it's always about how passionate or you are about a particular task or a particular goal, because success is always a moving target. I mean, today my sort of goal is for the next 24 months to take this company to a certain level, and I do have some milestones, and if I achieve that's my success for that. And in order to achieve that, I'll have to go through multiple failures, because that's a learning path, right? I mean, success is always a moving target for anyone, and failure is bound to happen in order to achieve anything. So I mean, it will go hand to hand, but I think it's a complete it's about the mindset, how you think about success and failures. But I strongly feel you should always be ready for the failures. That's what can give you the learning, can give you the experience to how you can sort of face that problem in different way if you're facing the next time. And that's actually can help you to move towards the milestone, which is a success. But I think grand success, the ultimate success for you in your life should be peace of mind. Ultimately, you have to be very, very happy what you are doing, right? And you should not have no regrets. I mean, regrets, if you have regret, that's a failure. So I mean, that should be fundamentally true for everyone. And youngsters who are thinking any short failure is a long-term failure, I think that's a wrong mistake, because I don't think anyone think in that way. I mean, they might be frustrated with that instant failure or some temporary failures, but as a human being we always aspire to do something in our own way, and we always want to sort of achieve that. That's natural human instinct, right? So I don't think anyone think in that way. Failures is a permanent thing for anyone.
Sir, now talking about your Mihup, so how does this name came into your mind, and what is your perception about your company, and where do you see it? What kind of company, what kind of work culture you are developing or trying to develop for youngsters or for IT professionals?
So I mean, as I said, so we sort of wanted to reinvent the man-machine communication. Okay, I mean, the way it was happening earlier, it was happening through some sort of chats or in typing, and we felt it has to be changed. I mean, in the future is going to be the voice first device. I mean, you won't be able to find typing anymore. So and we also felt I mean, our feeling is there has to be personal assistant for everyone in his life, right? I mean, like it's a digital virtual assistant, right? And who will help a person in multiple ways, right? And from that context, we thought of a persona, right? I mean, since we were thinking of building that kind of persona, who can help everyone, and that's why we thought about a character. Immediately, we thought about a character, say Mihu, and we could not find the domain, and then we sort of added the P in the later last, and eventually it became may I help you please. That's how Mihup stands for.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, so I mean that's how the Mihup name came into the
very
picture.
Innovative, very interesting.
And yeah, so and next question was sorry, I just
I just want to know, sir, what kind of work culture you are planning in your company and for IT professionals? How you are going to be different company from others? Because in India we talk so much about IT companies, IT sector, but professionals and eminent persons, they have already pointed out that the work culture between the Western IT companies and their setup and in India, it's quite different.
So I mean, uh, earlier when we was, sort of, in the beginning of our journey, so we were sort of, curious to understand, what kind of work culture there is in Google, or maybe in companies like Facebook, right? I mean, why
Yes.
the young talents are so attract to that kind of company. May not be, just because the salary, right? So I mean, we used to, Google it, find what is the right culture should be there for the company. But later we realized, so we tried to understand why anyone should join the startup. I mean, what should be the sole purpose of joining startup? I think the answer is, in the startup, you'll have the, option or the flexibility to express yourself, right? I mean, that is absolutely possible only in startups. And because you hold, a lot of, ownership and accountability, right? And you can really, contribute in multiple things. I mean, in ideas and everything. And so culture wise, we truly believe, the companies, our company should not be, governed by the hierarchies. The company should be governed by the ideas. I mean, best ideas has to win, right? Now, how to, sort of, formalize that, this concept in a framework, so that, so that everybody and everyone can understand and digest this process. Everyone can understand, their ownership and accountability, and can make this, this organization truly forward. I mean, this is something, I would say we are constantly, innovating on that part. But principally, we truly believe in, ownership, accountability, and idea is, it should be the, principle. Hierarchy doesn't matter. But it's a constant journey. It's innovative. We are constantly innovating on that part, and I'm sure, so we'll be, doing much more better in coming days when we'll have enough learnings in the future.
Sir, coming to the company performance and other aspects, what kind of growth do you see for Mihup in upcoming 5 to 10 years?
So, I mean, number wise, we do have, vision, or I would say the aspiration and the goal, to take this company to the IPO. Since, we are raising capital from the private equity or the private investors, right? So since we are building the product for the mass, so we want, mass to invest in the company, right? And that's only possible through the IPO. So that's a grand goal, what we are having as of now from the company point of view. But from the long-term vision point of view, what we really want to see the company, the brand as like Dolby. I mean, you think about Dolby as a brand which works, somewhere in the sound system. But we feel, comfortable, and we feel, sort of, relaxed, like, yes, it has a Dolby surround system, right? So since we are also, dealing with, with this, man-machine communication system, and which is holding a lot of, trust of human, because it's all about data and everything, right? It's also about an understanding that human properly help the human to, interact in better way to the machine. So it has to be a, trusted brand for everyone. So that's what, we want to be. We want to be the number one brand for this man-machine communication, globally. So that and every human, should think of, think of Mihup while selecting, or choosing his medium to communicate with the machines. So that's what our, sort of dream is, and that's what we want to see in the next 10 years. Yeah.
Okay. And sir, currently, what is the strength of the company, and in which cities you are planning to expand your business?
So, I mean, total strength of the company from, from employee standpoint, we do have, 50 plus, permanent, I would say, employees in the company. And also there are, 850 indirect employees who are working with us, in different, roles. And we right now, operating from Kolkata and Bangalore. Kolkata is the center of gravity, but we also do have, presence in Bangalore. The product and the sales team is based out of Bangalore. So recently, we have started expanding to other markets like Vietnam and North America, and we are setting up our sales office in North America and Vietnam, and we are looking forward to grab the market of customer services industry and the auto industry in these two markets.
Sir, thank you so much for your thoughts and the talk with us and sharing your experiences with us. And I'm sure that your talk will inspire the youngsters as well as the established market players here. And we are from Inviewsrs.com. We wish you all the very best for all your ventures. And really, you are giving your inputs, you are creating job opportunities for the youngsters, and through technology you are trying to change something in the society for the betterment of the society, and for that Inviewsrs salutes you and thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you so much,
Rajesh. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.